feel like I've picked and rolled more than I ever have since my college career. You know, obviously, I think just the style we want to play and having so many ball handlers just helps my ability to not be just predictable of setting a screen and getting to the three-point line, but it's setting, sealing, and rolling into the paint and being able to use my passing ability to be able to draw the defense in and being able to kick out of it, or also being able to get an easier look. Obviously, shooting the three is fun and all, but I think at points you got to get close to the basket and continue to collapse defenses. And so for us, it's being able to invert pick and rolls as well. Like our bigs are able to handle the ball, and so for us, that's also like guards can set screens and roll and just kind of play that like positionless basketball that you see in the NBA. And I think we're doing a really good job of kind of implementing that in training camp and continuing to just learn to play with one another in different spots.
I'm glad you mentioned all the inverted actions you guys run. Was there a moment in your career, something you focused on to become a good screener? Like, I imagine you didn't do that a ton growing up.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have the ball in your hand, you know what you need as a ball handler, and I think that helps you understand how to become a good screener because you know what you're looking for. But also it's just reading angles. It's reading, you know, where you want the ball, what the defense is doing, you know, what schemes they're in, whether they're switching, how you can seal. And obviously it's a little bit different for me in having to roll. Like I'm not really used to that, or setting a screen and sealing and getting a smaller kind of mismatch on my back and being able to play out of that. But I think that's the fun part of always wanting to just evolve as a basketball player is you're going to continue to just learn and push yourself and want to get great in a lot of different areas. So for me, it's kind of been a fun challenge.
And then just generally speaking about you and Tosh in the backcourt, how do you think you can augment each other's games? What do you envision looking like at its peak?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. Just the ability to play off one another, her ability to get downhill and create. She's through and through a pass first point guard. So our ability to be able to just use that to our advantage. Every time she drives, she's going to collapse the defense. And so it's fun. And obviously for me, I kind of play both positions. So it's going to be really exciting when I don't want to get hounded all the way up the floor. She can take the ball all the way up and get us into our offense. And I think that's something that's going to really help us this year.
You talked about playing off ball with Tosh as first guard. It's kind of like with Snoop last year. So does that role of the common guard kind of remain the same as last year? This was a difference to it.
You know, I don't really know necessarily like the like who's going to start at the 1 or who's going to start at the 2. I think that just the understanding of who are you trying to get the ball to and what position, and when you have 5 players on the floor that know where we're trying to get the ball and how to create advantages, it really works to our favor. And so I love playing both positions, so hopefully that's something I'll continue to be able to do at a high level. And you know, obviously I think the ability to space defenses out with the gravity that I have at the three-point line, but also as a ball handler, we went to it late in the year, and I think using my passing ability to our advantage is also something that's really good. So I think being able to kind of have the option to do both is something that you don't always get in the past, and something we're definitely going to leverage this year.
Sabrina, a few weeks first of all, what's up? How you doing? A few weeks ago, there was a terrible list that kind of came out. It was from Fox Sports. It was the top 10 biggest athletes currently in New York list. And there was one glaring omission on that list. There were no champions on the list. There were no women on the list. And as defending champions and everything that you've done, when you see a list like that, what kind of what message do you have for people that put lists out like that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's like that's just social media. Like it's whatever opinions people have, and I never really read too much into it. But obviously for us, I mean, I think we've kind of left a footprint here in New York with the championship that we brought, and knowing that we did something that hadn't been done in a really long time. So for us, obviously, it's just continuing to do what we've been doing. It's obviously having a lasting impact in this area, and obviously, I think all of us want to be known as one of the best players to be playing here in New York, and so we just got to continue to keep doing what we're doing.
What do you think it'll take for women to kind of get that respect for your names to be on that list? Not just for Fox Sports, but for fans as well, for you guys to make that impact.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the more people you ask, there would be women on that list. I think that might just have been one outlet that did that. I think you ask people around, there'd be a few names from the Liberty that would be on that list. And so not reading too much into it. I think for us, obviously, we win another championship and everyone can go shut up. So it doesn't really matter.
Thanks.
Hey, Sam. Excuse me. When you were with, Unrivaled in Florida, you talked a little bit about getting back after, having a procedure on your thumb. Just wanted to follow up on that. Now that you're back with the Liberty, how are you feeling? Just with your hand, but then overall health-wise.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, thumb surgery went really well, fully cleared. Everything's been going great. So that's been, obviously really nice to have put behind me and not having to focus on it now. Was able to play games and live reps. And so I feel like obviously I'm in the best shape that I think I've ever been. Trained really hard this offseason, kind of, changed the way that I've lifted, changed the way that I train from November. And so obviously I think it's going to pay dividends to the long season that we have, the additional games, how far we went into the playoffs last year. And I'm excited to see all the hard work that I've put in, kind of be able to see work here as the season starts.
I think last year, that work that you put in the offseason really showed in how you were able to get to the hoop, drive for the team a little bit more. When you think about some of the strength training and the conditioning that you did, is it to kind of maintain that strength, gain more strength, or just maintain what you're already doing a little bit well?
I mean, I honestly feel like a completely different player from where I even was last year, health-wise, conditioning-wise, strength-wise, mentally. I think just overall in general, the way that I've trained this offseason has kind of been like no other. And so I'm really excited to see how that kind of will showcase on this team. But I've already seen it so far in training camp, my ability to play both sides of the basketball, defensively as well, being able to get in passing lanes, use my strength, use my height to kind of alter some passes. I think that's something that I really worked hard on and able to see as we started training camp.